Hello everyone and welcome back yet again to the Anime Villainous Tournament arc of 2024. It's time for the final match of round 2, AzureHorizon448 against our QA member Phalkion. Whoever wins this will be our last member for the semifinals and get to go up against Butter King, our QA lead. So, let's see the match. And here we are with the last round 2 game, Phalkion versus Azure, otherwise known as Outlast Duo. Falk is going to win the dice roll and is going to immediately ban Dio. Why are we putting this all the way over here? Yeah, okay, thank you. Put it like way back over here where they're side by side. Much better. And Azure is going to be banning Cell, so we will not be seeing Dio or Cell. And then round 1, so it's a blind pick. Who will these players be picking? Azure usually goes for like Crocodile and Loxis, I think, are two of his big ones. And Falk, also a huge Loxis player. As well as, I don't really know who Falk favors outside of Loxis, actually. I know that he like super mains Loxis. All for One. He plays a really mean All for One. I think those are like Falk's top 2, or at least they're definitely up there. I doubt Azure wants to pick Croc into a blind pick, but he might because Cell and Dio are both out. Ooh, Orochi versus QB. So many Orochimaru players in this year's tournament arc. My goodness, so very many. I feel like Orochi favors this matchup. You know, assuming he can get the time stop out really quick. Falk does get to go first, which, like, guarantees him a use of his top fate, assuming he's fine with just gaining 1 and playing whatever card he has in hand out the gate. I don't think we haven't had very many QB games, have we? We only had, like, 2 QB games? Maybe even only 1? This would be a good opportunity for me to use QB in the thumbnail again, potentially. Okay, and are we going to see a mulligan from Orochi? One of the best parts about going second as Orochi is getting to mulligan a really bad opening hand. Oh, whoops. A little bit of a mix-up there. They might pull out another clock. They might just go with the 3 seconds being lost. I doubt that the 3 seconds will make a huge difference, especially for Falk. He doesn't take turns super slow. All right, we're just going to run with it. Here we go. Lark. I think Lark was just waiting a second to hit the button anyway. Smart. You don't want to do that first. You want to fate first. Falk needs to remember that he has to do things in order. Or he's just gonna do it anyway, but that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, okay, he's realizing he has to do stuff in order. This is a classic, he did also just wake up, by the way, so we gotta cut him some slack. This is a classic moment where in QA testing games, we would do things out of order, but he has to do it in order for the tournament. So now, thankfully, no hidden knowledge, he can just take his turn back and redo it, no big loss. Then we're gonna see a Charade played by Falk. With Sayak out, he's going to get to look at the top 5 cards instead of the top 4 and really start setting up his deck. Getting that early fate and going ahead and setting out a hero is pretty good. Probably more so than getting a hero out immediately. You'd want to see like an ally thrown down or potentially even a Labyrinth, but he wouldn't have had the power for that, or something like Grief Seeds. But going ahead and getting Sayaka ready, we're going to see him discard Obsessive Wish. He doesn't want Hammer anytime soon. Going ahead and getting Sayaka ready to be able to have a target for weakening and whatnot is going to be very good for him. And getting I didn't talk about the fate much. Getting a turn 1 Sarutobi to cover Forest of Death is very strong. QB wants to lower Orochi's fate pressure, and we're actually going to see Orochi go to Tanzaku here. Instead of Otogakuri, he must have a pretty good hand to play. Turn 1 Kimimaro, he didn't mulligan, so of course he has a good hand to play. Turn 1 Kimi makes a lot of sense. We're going to see him do body mod, so both players are looking at the top 5 cards of their decks and setting and discarding them as they like. Nice little parallel there. Yeah, turn 1 Kimimaro. Honestly, turn 1 Kimimaro is one of the best things for Orochimaru. It's one of the things he wants to see in his opening hand the most. Because Kimimaro is just an incredible kill card. It gives you so much control over your territory. The only real weakness Kimi has... Ooh, no discards there is very intriguing. The only weakness Kimimaro really has is Shuriken, really. And your opponent normally doesn't like to take the time to play Shuriken over a hero when fading Orochi. And he's double checking those 5 again to make sure that he got his hand signs right from the body mods. And that'll be his turn, getting a -1 on the Sarutobi. He just needs one more minus on Sarutobi for the Kimi kill. We're going to see Falk go over to Marika's bedroom and keep another Fate going. Getting Jiraiya here is pretty good. It's good for Azure that he got Kimi out before Jiraiya was played, but that is going to be a major annoyance for him. QB is definitely getting the early Fate pressure here. Big discard. Not a big discard. That was just like Alien Morality. I thought there were more cards than that. We're going to see Azure go to Odo just to take a Fate action. Going to get Friendship, which is going to do nothing, and then a Transformation. So could move Sayaka, but doesn't really want to. That's more or less a dead Fate, really. Which is very unfortunate to see. Probably wanted to see a time stop, even with the top Fate already covered. You usually want to get an early time stop to mess with QB's action economy. Falk is going to head over to downtown. I hope someone moves these kids away from where it looks like they're in play at downtown at some point. We're going to see an Omnipresence. That's the wrong button, Falk. Accidentally hit deal instead of search. It happens to the best of us. He's going to get a Labyrinth out for 3 costs there. Does he have a 1-cost ally to throw down? He does indeed, and it's Elsa Maria, one of the best 1-costers, I'd say, because hunting witches is not something you want to target her with. That's going to start weakening Sayaka. We're going to see Azure head over to Tanzaku quarters. What is he going to play here? He's going to throw down a Killing Intent. That'll get Sarutobi into range for Kimimaro to deal with, which is very good. Also going to throw down a Reincard to probably try and get like Manda or something. And then playing Summon Rashomon just for the sake of playing it. Oh, did he have wrong hand signs there? I didn't see what the hand signs were. I think Azure did 2 snake hand signs back to back there. He might not be able to get the Summon Rashomon out. I mean, all he really needs is the Killing Intent to get Sarutobi in position. Yeah, the Reincard and the Killing Intent were both snake hand signs. So here he's going to play the Reincard, then he's going to Forbidden Experiments to gain 1. Then he'll play the Killing Intent. That's going to be -2 on Sarutobi. And then is he going to do the Summon Rashomon still? It's going to get Saru down really low. He's still got 1 strength, so still has to use Kimi as normal. He could clash with him now, but he kind of wants to use Kimi to reposition Kimimaro over to Jiraiya. We're going to see Falk get Charlotte out. Yeah, please move those aside. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Lark. Thank you. Shout out to my boy, Lark. Going to get Charlotte in play at downtown. That's most likely where he wants to throw down the second Labyrinth when he gets his hands on it. Then we're going to see him Fate. Ooh, this has been very, very not fun for Azure here. Getting Jiraiya, Tsunade, and Sarutobi all back-to-back like this. This is like the 3rd time we've seen this happen in an Orochimaru game. This is a very unfortunate Fate shuffle to have the Sannin stagger like this. The good news, though, is that Azure has Kimimaro in play. And Kimimaro is kind of, other than Manda, the main way that you deal with this situation. And the back half of his Fate deck is going to be very weak. Yeah. I guess he used the Summon Rashomon before because he just wanted it out of his hands. Which, fair enough, I guess. Gonna leave Kimi at Tsunade or move him over to Jiraiya? Leaving him at Tsunade. No. It really depends on what's in his hand and what he thinks he's gonna draw next, who he's more worried about killing here. And then we're gonna see him get a Fate. He's gonna get Hunting Witches, which is not good here. He can move Sayaka away, but that opens the top Fate. He is going to activate Sayaka just to move Elsa Maria over to downtown to turn off the Labyrinth. We could see a Torment kill from Falk here. But no, he's going to go straight over to downtown. He might have his other Labyrinth and a Wish, potentially. Or he could have another ally to set at Labyrinth so he could get Sayaka in position for next turn. A lot of options here. Could even have like a Persuade Torment. He's debating his options pretty hard on what to do here. He's going to play Selfish and Lonely Wish and just get Kyoko, and he's going to move Elsa Maria first over to the park. But then he's just going to double wish out Kyoko and Mommy. Ooh, boy. Falk is playing with fire, getting so many of the girls out. Yeah, we're going to see Azure go over to Tanzaku, and he's just throwing out a Poison Kunai. So now he can kill Tsunade on his Fate turn, weaken Jiraiya, and put Kimi in position. We're going to see Kirsten thrown down to start weakening Sayaka again, followed by a Fate from Falk. Shuriken and recovery. Shuriken on Kimi is pretty painful here. Yeah. Like I said earlier, the only real threat to Kimimaro is Shuriken. Now he's at 2 strength and Tsunade is 4. Discarding Tragedy and Walpurga. Interesting, discarding Walpurgisnacht when he has so much power. Or not so much power, but so many wishes played. We are going to see Azure go in Fate regardless. Double time stop, not really what he wants to see here. That's not going to be able to protect Sayaka. He is going to block the discard gain 1 at the bottom Fate, which is very good, because it makes that location much weaker for Falk, who wants to use it for the discard, mainly. And we're going to see a Grief Seeds thrown down, and then Falk is just going to clash with Sayaka to get Octavia. And then he is really well set up, actually. We saw him discard Tragedy earlier. He can grab Tragedy here and use Charlotte to kill Mommy or Kyoko. Probably Mommy, because she's more of a threat, but he's got plenty of power for it. He can even do it while fading, I believe. No, he can't go to Madoka and do the Charlotte kill on Mommy, but he could do it on Kyoko while fading. We're going to see Azure go back over to Senzaku. He's got to set up the Tsunade kill again, because he really just needs to, he really needs to get the kill on Tsunade to clear his board. He knows he doesn't have very many strong heroes coming up, because we even saw Gaara go. It's Kakashi and... It's like Kakashi, Rock Lee are the only really strong ones left, and there's like Sakura and Naruto who are fairly easy to deal with. Although a Naruto here could be pretty painful, because what is this? Opening up his top Fate. I don't know if I agree with that. I feel like he was much better off just placing Jirobo to be able to get the kill. He really needs to clear his territory, especially before Naruto gets out. And plus Falk had a Fate set up. I don't know about that one. He is going to do the Tragedy on Kyoko. He has just enough power to Tragedy her with Charlotte. So that will, just put her somewhere, Falk. That'll get her out of there. So the 2 weakest girls are already gone for Falk, and he got to Tragedy one of them. Then we're going to see Sakura and Kakashi here. Also, Reinkar is going to trigger. Should have triggered before the Fate was seen. Did he discard Manda earlier? I imagine you just want Manda here more than anything. Oh, he's taking back Kabuto. I respect the respecting Kabuto, but I feel like Manda is who you really need here. Yeah, I don't know about that Jirobo play earlier. I feel like Azure would have been much better off leaving Jirobo and Tsunade at Forest of Death so that he could get the kill on Tsunade with Kimi and then set up the Jiraiya kill. Is he going to do some moving shenanigans here to do that now? Yeah, he's just undoing his last turn, I think. Or maybe not? What is he doing? Using Kimi and Jirobo to kill Kakashi? Oh, I wonder if he picked Kabuto actually specifically for Kimimaru's ability here. He's going to do the move and kill Tsunade. Okay, yeah, the last turn that he didn't... See, if he had not done the weird Jirobo move with Tsunade, then he could have done this turn at Otagakuri, and he would have gotten to Fate while doing this setup. He'll be able to, in exchange, he's going to be able to kill Jiraiya and Fate and do the gain 2 there. But, yeah, like... Lark is not going to let that, or not Lark, Falk is not going to let that happen. I'm actually surprised that Falk is putting Lee at Forest of Death instead of Otagakuri here. He is really locking down that top Fate, though, which is very fair. He could have also decomposed. I think decompose could have been a really strong play here to just really mess up with Kimimaro. It would have put Azure in a really tough position, but now he's going to be able to get the Kimi kill and then move Kimimaro over to... What's his name? Persuading Mommy over here after doing the Fate, so now Mommy is in position to very easily die to Tragedy if he can, like, Immortality it back or something similar. But also, he just gets to start weakening her, and he's gonna Hopeful Wish out Madoka. He's saving Hamura for last. So that is 2 heroes out, and that will be a -1 on one of them. This is not a May, you have to do it. You have to put a minus... You're like, yeah, there you go. Putting it on Mommy first makes sense. We're going to see the Kimi kill and then reposition Kimi over towards dealing with Kakashi later and get to gain 2. So I'm a little surprised that either Decomposing wasn't played or Lee wasn't put at Otagakuri. But locking down the top Fate very hard when Falk has got a major lead here. Oh, what's happening here? Are we having some lag? Azure is just holding this card in place. Oh, no, I didn't see him pull out the Hunting Witches. He was holding the Back to the Start, debating if he wanted to use it or not, and in the end, he is going to play Back to the Start. So now Hamura has to be played before Falk can kill anyone. Dead Demon? Honestly, Shuriken on Kimi might be better here. But Dead Demon is also pretty good. I could see either or working. He's going to go with Dead Demon in the end. There's a pretty good chance of him having, like, Manda in hand or something, or maybe even the Sealed Coffin. It's going to weaken Mami a bit more. Azure's heading back over to Tanzaku. He does have Sealed Coffin, which is very unfortunate. He'll have to get rid of Dead Demon next turn. But Falk can't Fate here. We're going to see Elsa Maria moved into position. Going to see him throw down Gertrude. Gertrude is such a weird-looking lasagna monster. Debating about where he wants Gertrude to go here. I think Falk is about to hit a reshuffle on Orochi's deck. Yeah, on Orochi's Fate deck, so we could see the... Oh, he's going to end up going to Mitakura Park, whatever it's called. He's going to go to the park instead, get one less power in exchange for getting to discard a lot. Discarding Madness. He can't really use Madness to get a killer right now, so that's fair. And that should be one more on Mami. Falk is very bad about remembering to get that one power moment. Body Destruction or Transformation? Probably Transformation Madoka here, but I could see Body Destruction just to buy another turn without being faded for Orochi. Trying to figure out what's left in the Fate deck right now to see if he really wants Body Destruction or not. If he activates, he most likely activates Madoka. Get some of those strength tokens off of Mami. He's going to Body Destruction QB to the school rooftop. Yeah, it's probably the best place to put it. And that'll be the end of his turn, so we're over to Falk. He's going to gain 1 and throw down an Immortality for later. Immortality is very, very strong right here if it triggers, but Falk has to make sure that he doesn't reshuffle his deck before Azure fates him again. Azure also has a ton of power right now. He's going to get Yuya out. He wants to be able to do some major defeating over there. Going to throw down 4 Violet Barrier as well. These hand signs are matching up. And then throwing out a Shed Skin. And then just discarding Substitution Jutsu, and that'll be his turn. Falk is going to go over to the bedroom. Go for a Fate. Naruto at the bottom, and then reshuffling Dead Demon. Dead Demon is actually pretty good here because it messes with the Kimimaro kill. But Naruto is also annoying. But to be honest, I think Dead Demon is probably the go-to here. I could see Naruto maybe to Otagakuri, and I think Falk is realizing that as well. Also a pretty good play. This does mean that he's going to lose some power to killing Kakashi, or he could even kill Lee at the cost of Yuya, but I doubt that. But if he clashes with Naruto, it's just going to move Naruto back to the Forest of Death. Because Azure cannot get rid of Lee and Kakashi. So that'll keep with Falk's game plan thus far. Falk is actually trying to figure out what cards Orochi has in hand, because he only has 2 left in his deck. But this is going well with Falk's game plan of trying to keep the top Fate like very well covered. Is he going to play a card? If he plays a card, his Immortality is going to be useless. He is not going to, so he's basically baiting Azure into fading him because it will let him, like, just choose 3 cards. But, man, I think Azure realizes that and is not going to give it to him as a result. Probably most likely because he doesn't want Falk to be able to draw, I think it's Obsessive Wish, the one that plays Hamura. Because he's stuck with Back to the Start right now, which is very troublesome for Falk. We're going to see Azure throw down Sakon and Ukon. He's going to play a Killing Intent, probably onto Lee, if I had to guess. Yeah, get him weaker. He's in clash range now. It's going to gain him 1 from the Sealed Coffin. And following that, he's going to put a Curse Seal onto Yuya to start buffing her up. And then he's going to give her a Poison Kunai as well. Surely you don't use Kimimaro on a Vanquish here. Don't do that. I'm kind of surprised he didn't Curse Seal Lee He could have, like, curse-sealed Lee here instead, used Tayuya with the Poison Kunai to kill Kakashi, get Lee to 0, which is, like, really easy to deal with, and whatnot, but he wouldn't have had another ally there to be able to get the Lee kill even if he was at 0, but I'm not sure what his strategy with this super buff Tayuya is. I imagine he's just going to save her to deal with, like, a 4-strengther or a Sarutobi who goes down on Forest of Death later. Falk has to make a decision here. Does he still try and bet on getting immortality in some fashion by not playing cards or discarding and just, like, banking some power? I think he's probably not going to do that. He's most likely going to play some cards and hard discard to try and get back to Obsessive Wish or Omnipresence. Also, the longer that Azure doesn't fate him, the thing is the longer he doesn't fate, the more he gets to weaken up Madoka. Because he's already got Mommy at 0. He is just going to go for the big play and discard. That is going to trigger Shed Skin, so Orochi gets to draw a card. And then Falk just really wants to shuffle into either Omnipresence. The card he wants to see most is Obsessive Wish. After that, he wants to see Omnipresence to play Obsessive Wish. Or he wants to get Charades, because Charade can go through 6 cards right now. He only has a 15-card deck. So he can very, very quickly get to Obsessive Wish as long as he's drawn any of those cards. But if he didn't get any of those, with his discard covered, he's in a bit of a rough spot. Forest of Death here, instead of going to Odo to kill Kakashi while at 0 power, is a little intriguing to me. Now is the best time to trigger Immortality, so what must Azure have in hand that he's deciding to do this? He must have a really, really strong hand. Maybe he can actually get Manda out here or something. If he could somehow, with, like, some Forbidden Experiment shenanigans, get Manda out to kill Kakashi without losing much power and clash with Lee, that would be a pretty strong play, all things considered. It'd put him in a pretty good position. He still doesn't have Sasuke out, though. And Naruto is covering his Otagakuri activate right now. Which means to get Sasuke out, he has to go back over to Konoha or do a Forbidden Experiments play for an activate instead of a power gain. Another Poison Kunai on Tayuya. She is super buff and super dangerous. There's a Forbidden Experiments. Is this going to be an activate or a gain? It's going to be a gain 1 instead of an activate to get Sasuke out. He has the strength to play Sasuke. Manda? Shed Skin. Another Forbidden to gain 2 and then Manda? Or gain 3, rather? Oh, just the gain 3 and then punch Lee. Having the power is nice. I'm a little surprised that he didn't just go for getting Sasuke out. To be honest, he needs to get Sasuke out ASAP. Because as soon as Falk can get to Obsessive Wish, he's in a very strong position. Okay, so Falk did not get Obsessive Wish, or he's actually just holding it for a bit, which is possible. But he did get a Charade, which is one of the cards I mentioned. He just wants to dig very hard. Again, he wants Omnipresence or Obsessive Wish, either or. The fact that he's not discarding every single card in this deck right now means that he probably found one of the two. That doesn't trigger on that. That's from hand. Charade doesn't have anything to do with hand. And then we're going to see a Fate, Sarutobi, and Shuriken here. He is just going to put Sarutobi at the top Fate. Basically saying, like, use Tayuya to kill this. But Azure is not going to want to use Tayuya until he gets out Sasuke, which is why I was saying before, 3 power is really tasty, but especially with Kakashi in play, I think that getting Sasuke out with the whatchamacallit probably would have been more worth his time. But he's going to go to Konoha here and throw out Jirobo. Okay. So he can do some move shenanigans here to get Sarutobi or Kakashi off of there. We're going to see him do a body mod to look at these top 5 cards, set up his deck pretty nicely. Just discarding the Sword of Kusanage. Just like Ascended, he disrespects the Sword of Kusanage too much. That card is like, it can be very vital. We're going to see him activate Sasuke. He's putting Sasuke on the top Fate. This never works. Oh, he's going to do the Jirobo. Okay, never mind. That's fine. Technically putting him on the top Fate, but not really. So this will get -2 on Sasuke and refund him 1 from the kunai, and then he'll use Jirobo to move Sasuke back on top of Konoha. Move him. Okay, good. This is like the one and only scenario where playing him to the top fate works, and it's only because you immediately take him off of the top fate is the only reason it works. We're gonna see Hamura here. We are indeed. There's the Obsessive Wish. He's gonna get Hamura right over to a Labyrinth with Gertrude. He's gonna move Elsa Maria first, which is very smart. He's actually gonna move Elsa Maria here to really stack up Hamura. Mommy is at 0. Madoka is gonna be at, she has 7, right? She's gonna be at 4 at the end of this. We're also gonna see a Torment from Falk to really get Hamura down here. And Falk, I think we saw him reshuffle, like Madness should be back in his hand or deck, one or the other. That'll get rid of Back to the Start at the end of this turn. Mommy is set up to be killed. Basically has a kill ready for any of these with, whatchamacallit, Charlotte should be coming back around for a potential tragedy. We're going to see the Kakashi kill, which is going to cost him all of his power. And then we're going to have him clash with Naruto to put him at Sasuke, actually. I think I just heard another system sound go off. I thought that I muted those. My apologies if you heard that. That was my computer, not yours. I'm having to record so many Tournament Art games that I'm having to, probably gonna Hunting Witches Octavia here, I guess. I'm having to, like, render videos while recording these, so that was probably the sound of a video just got done rendering. And he's actually gonna time stop. Time stop to make the park really bad? No, he's going back to Hunting Witches. Honestly, I think the time stop might have been a better play. Getting rid of a witch here doesn't really do anything because Candeloro is about to be right here anyway, so, like, Madoka is still set up for the kill. There's the clash on Naruto, immortality triggers. I don't think there's anything in there that Falk wants. Really? So Orochi has an open territory. Sasuke is already at -2. Naruto is sitting at Konoha, which is kind of where you want him in this scenario. What are we going to see from Falk here? He might have Walpurgisnacht. He might have reshuffled back into Walpurgisnacht, which putting Walpurgisnacht down at either of these 2 locations right now would be very strong. He has the power to do it because Walpurgisnacht only costs 3. We could also just see like a basic Torment or something to weaken Madoka even further. Madoka and Hamura is going to be at -3 at the end of this turn. Madoka will at least be at -4. That puts them both at 3 strength. Candeloro is going to be here, which sets up a potential tragedy kill on Madoka. Azure needs to rush. And we're going to see, I don't think Falk even played a card. He's just going to clash Candeloro and then end his turn, it seems. And get his minuses on Madoka and Hamura. Azure really needs to rush down Sasuke. He's got a good setup for Summon Rashomon, which could be a huge deal here. But he also, at the same time, needs to keep some fate pressure. We're going to see him just throw down a Curse Seal on Sasuke for later. Pretty good play. His Sealed Coffin is out of position, so he can't get power back while weakening Sasuke. Friendship is pretty great here. How is he going to divvy these up? 1 off of Hamura and 2 off of Madoka, maybe? He's debating. Debating very hard. It's going to be 2 off of Hamura, 1 off of Madoka. Falk can get some very strong, like, madness or tragedy plays here. There's a world where we just see tragedy at Madoka's bedroom. It is indeed, and it only costs 1 because of Candeloro, but he's just going to kill Madoka here at the cost of Candeloro and Kirsten. He doesn't really mind losing them both, though, because now it's just Hamura, who's set up in an Elsa Maria labyrinth. Ooh. Not a good position, and then immediately getting Tsunade to block Odagakuri to make that location very bad. Honestly, Gaara might actually be the play here. I think Gaara is actually the play, and I think Falk is thinking about it. Gaara move Sasuke to Odagakuri, have Gaara sit at Forest, move Kimi out of position. Tsunade is also a really strong play, though. She's going to make Odagakuri very unappealing, and the less that Azure fates right now, the better it is for Falk. Because we can see Walpurgisnacht or Madness come out and pretty much set this game. We're going to see Sealed Coffin moved over to Konoha to better take advantage of the Sasuke shenanigans. Then there's going to be a 2-cost Killing Intent, which will net 1 power back to get Sasuke a little bit weaker. Forbidden Experiments cost 1, then to gain 1, and then play a 3rd card to trigger the Curse Seal. And he's going to get a Curse Seal on Tsunade as well to weaken her up a little bit. and then just discard that scheme, that reincar. Falk just going to go to School Rooftop, gain some power here. Are we going to see Walpurgisnacht, maybe? Even Omnipresence into Walpurgisnacht would be incredible here. He got a recovery mission, which is fantastic. He's going to move Sasuke to Tanzaku, actually. I'm kind of surprised he's not covering the top fate here. Because he really... Well, honestly, there's not many fates that can do much at this point. But a transfer, when it's Hamura especially, transformation can be really annoying. So I'm a little surprised that Falk isn't trying to lessen Azure's ability to fate even more so. Oh, he's going to put down Charlotte, which means he has a potential tragedy kill, and then he's going to put Machinations at Forest of Death. No, he's going to put it at Tanzaku. He doesn't want it to trigger this turn. He wants to trigger it a following turn after a fate has happened from Azure. And Azure is going to go over to Forest of Death and discard the majority of his hand. Transformation here is pretty good, and Transformation here is pretty good. Why? Oh, because he... Oh, right. He transformed Hamura. I always forget... I hate the way transformation is worded. You have to reveal the card and play it first. So I was like, why is he revealing another card yet? He's thinking Heart of the Cards is out or something? It's because he has to do Hamura's ability, which plays another fate first, and then do the Do-Si-Do, the move around. So he's going to move Hamura to School Rooftop. Does not have an active Labyrinth, but does have a Labyrinth, and he also gets to play a time stop to the park. We're going to see Falk go over to downtown. Walpurgisnacht. Omnipresence Walpurgisnacht. Yep, there it is. This is going to... Oh, no, he's going to Persuade, actually. Madness Elsa Maria. Oh, he's just going to win this turn. He had the Elsa Maria play. And then he clashes with Hamura, and that is game because there are no heroes in his territory, so that ends Showdown. Very well played game from Falk here. Very well played QB game. Azure did his best, couldn't get Sasuke out quite quick enough and recover his territory from that early fate pressure, it seems like. And so just got himself in a really rough spot. Couldn't really climb out of it fast enough. He was getting back into better position, but just not quick enough to outspeed QB, who had been having a very good game already. So first game goes to Falk. And I need to move the camera over here. This means Azure is now our starting player. He's going to get to ban first, and then Falk will ban. And Azure will be banning Cell. I think that's who he banned. Is that Cell Dio? Is this the exact same ban we just had, I want to say? I'm pretty sure that Azure banned Cell before. Take a little drink of water. We're going to see Falk pick Loxis, which makes a lot of sense. As I mentioned before, Loxis and Orochi are two of the characters who do best into, like, a majority of matchups. They have very few, like, hard counters in the game, as of now, at least. And so Loxis is a good pick when you're being counterpicked. And Azure is going to choose Isabella in response. So we're going to be seeing... We've seen quite a few Isabellas this tournament arc. Quite a few indeed. I don't know how this matchup, like, if it favors one way or another, really. I feel like it's going to be pretty even, all things considered, but we'll see how it plays out in practice here. Azure is going to get to go first. Falk gets to mulligan if he'd like. Loxis doesn't, like, super care about getting to mulligan, typically. But it can be pretty nice for him if he drew an especially bad first hand, or if he just really wants to fish for, like, a turn 1 ally. So we might see Falk. Falk is going to mulligan here. He's not going to show us what the cards were. We'll never know how good or bad that hand was. It could have been that the hand was actually just really bad, or he might have just really wanted to fish for... He could have looked at it and been like, I could get something better. But here we go. We're going to see Azure take his first turn. He's going to go straight to Grassy Field, get a little Fate discard action going on. Going to schedule a card. Going to schedule a card for how many turns? 4 turns. Holy cow, that's super in the future. Very, very far away. Discarding a They Know, then Fating. Lucy and Loki is not the best turn 1 fate, but at least it's a 4 strengther. That should have gone up 1 more. Yep, up to 6. The thing about getting Lucy and Loki early is that it means that Loxis is close to 8 resolve, and when he gets to 8 resolve, fating him becomes way less effective. It actually becomes actively bad in a good amount of instances. We're going to see a Thought Projection from Falk. Pretty good opening card. He's going to go straight for a Fate. He's going to get Ray and Dawn. Both pretty decent here. Probably Ray for the 5-strengther. Cover that top fate. Just wants to make sure that Isabella can't fate too hard as he starts getting his own setup done. Early thought projection is pretty nice. It doesn't have any targets yet, but it will in the future. We're going to see Azure head over to the gate. Early Demon List in the first 6 cards. That's very good. And immediately activating it to get Emma. Very strong opening hand for Azure here, I would say. And immediately into bedtime as well. Incredible early deck draw for Azure. It doesn't get much better than that, honestly. Falk is going to head over to Magnolia Streets. Gain a lot of power. He's playing Biding Time, I believe, discarding his entire hand, and then he's probably going to take out either one of his allies or a Dark Ekriture, and it is going to be the Dark Ekriture. He wants the Ekriture before Freed, obviously, and he'd really like to get Freed and then start playing out Freed with a bunch of other, and playing his allies afterwards to actually make use of the Dark Ekriture. We're going to see Azure go back over to Grassy Field. He's going to get Sister Crone out, which means he could be opening back up Small Forest immediately. Big discard, followed by a Fate. What are we going to get here? We're going to get Urza and Levy. A pretty good Fate once again. Got another 4-strengther right out the gate. He's only got Makarov's Resolve up to 7, so still good for at least one more Fate before he has to worry about... Or one more Hero Fate before he has to worry about, oh no, what if I get so-and-so? There's Dragon Force, which puts Falk in a pretty good position to be able to open back up his top Fate or other things. We're going to see him do Prison Break to move Emma all the way to the gate, which makes it very hard to get strength reduction on Emma. Falk is debating if that's really what he wants to do. I think it is going to be what he does in the long run. He could very easily Lightning Dragon Roar up the Guild Hall on his next turn, which would get him some Fate pressure back, which would really help him right now, as Azure has had a very strong start. I've had so many, like, opening or second turn hand demon lists in this tournament from Isabella players. We had a lot of Isabella playing. Are we going to see a Fate here from Falk? Azure is very nicely set up to get some free plays. He's actually going to go to Magnolia Streets and throw out Bixalo. Does he have a Soul Doll that he discarded earlier with Biding Time? Probably. Indeed, he does, setting up at Lucy and Loki. And then Stone Gazing Lucy and Loki to get him down to 0. Then just a big discard to draw back up. Hoping to get his hands on Evergreen. We're going to see playing tag, and it's time to go. So it's time to go. We'll let Azure move Emma into position and then do the playing tag to get the -1 on Emma and Ray. This is actually going to open up a Small Forest play if Azure wants to move Sister Crone in there and get that hit. And indeed, that is exactly what Azure is going to do. Move Sister Crone. Ray now has the minus token, so doesn't lose Sister Crone in the kill. And then just playing another playing tag to get Emma down to 0 and discarding. Really wants to get Harvest now. Wants to draw Harvest very quickly to take out Emma before Falk can mess with that setup. Mystigan and Gray here. That's going to put, at least for now, Falk at max resolve, and it does mess with the Dragon Force if Falk wants to go to the bottom Fate. He is just going to lose the Dragon Force here. He wants to Fate that badly. He's going to get Mom as an enemy, take those 2 strength tokens off of Emma, which is very good. Make Azure work a little bit harder to get that first Harvest, and he's going to throw down a Gloating so that he can just draw into whatever cards he wants next time. Azure is going to go over to the gate. Doesn't really want to Fate right now, because if he pulls heroes, like especially like Natsu or something, he needs to pull on a Fate. He needs to pull Happy or Fairy Law for it to really be worth his time. He doesn't want to play a hero in this situation. It actually kind of helps Loxis more than hurts him. So, good reason not to Fate this turn and instead focus on gaining power and scheduling some cards for the Sarah refund next turn. That is indeed what's going to happen. Oh, he's actually going to go ahead and Demon List and get Gilda out here and throw her down at the Gracefield house, paying 2 power to Demon List that, even though Emma is still in play. So there's the 3 and the 5-strengther that Azure needs to get to Showdown here. Falk is going to get to draw 6 cards and then discard 6 cards, so he can really set up his hand however he likes here. That Mystigan timing was really unfortunate for him. on that Dragon Force, since he really felt like he needed to fate that turn. And I think he did need to fate that turn when Emma was set up so nicely for getting harvested. It's very possible that an easy Lightning Dragon Roar opens up the Guild Hall right here. I think it's very possible we could see a Guild Hall, Lightning Dragon Roar, Fate, discard turn kind of deal, something along those lines. He's actually going to go to Magnolia Streets. Does he have Freed, maybe? Or he's going to play Evergreen and use Evergreen's ability to do it? He is going to play Freed. I don't know if he has a Soul Doll target. He should after he just did that. He's going to pull Natsu, which is a little unfortunate, but it does put Natsu at outskirts instead of him being a guild hall. It's going to take a We Are Fairy Tale or something later to open that up. Then we're going to see a Thunder Legion. He just wants to get another hero out. He's going to get to discard Happy here, which is very, very good for him. Fairy Law, I think, is still in here and could be annoying, but getting the Happy discard is very strong. It looks like the third Soul Doll is probably in his deck, so he doesn't get the last Soul Doll out. And that will be the end of Falk's turn. Azure is trying to figure out what cards he can pull here. I know Fairy Law is in there. I think it's Fairy Law, Counter Magic, and maybe a We Are Fairy Tale, so it wouldn't be the worst fate ever. We're going to see an It's Time to Go put Gilda and Emma both in position for free time, so they're both going to lose 2 strength here. This has been a very, very strong Isabella game. Azure is only just now about 2/3 of the way through his deck, and he's gotten incredible timings on the cards that he's drawn. He didn't have to use like a They Know or anything to set this up. The early Demon List, Crone, Bedtime, etc. Trying to figure out where he wants to go here. He's going to go to Gracefield House. Maybe going to play, what's it called? Radar? He's going to play Bell, actually. Probably Bell and then spend 1 to put It's Time to Go back in his hand. He really wants to get Emma and Gilda over to the gate fast and harvest them before Falk can interrupt him in some way again. Has to make use of that quickly. Azure's checking his own fate discard to see what fates are coming up. I think we have a lot of heroes that haven't been played. I think there might be another Mom as an enemy. Not entirely sure. We'll see in a moment. I know Ray is already gone. Norman is still in here and could get rid of some scheduled cards, potentially. And that will be the end of Azure's turn. Back over to Falk. Going outskirts, going outskirts. Gonna play a battle invite to get another hero out. This is also going to... No, it's not going to reshuffle because he doesn't have 4 yet. He's going to play Gajeel in defense mode. I don't know what he was trying to play him in there. So, unlike Freed, doesn't discard, so it's not going to get rid of that Fairy Law form. We're going to get a Prison Break and Mom as an enemy. Probably, yeah, Mom as an enemy on Emma. Just make it where Azure has to, once again, do more work, especially because we know Azure has time to go in hand. Or has time to go in play right here, one or the other. Force him to do some more strength reduction before he can get anywhere. And Falk is taking a look at the discard pile to see what options Azure can possibly have to deal with this situation. We could see an It's Time to Go into bedtime here, potentially. Ah, Family Dinner. How does this card work again? Lose amount of strength equal to a number of heroes and former heroes at their location, including the chosen character. Yeah, so that's going to get that -2 back on Emma, basically undoing that fate. It's Time to Go and Harvest. That's going to get Emma all the way over, an immediate harvest, gain 3, then play both of those cards. That'll put Emma in the harvest pile. Gilda still has 1 strength, but now that's all Azure needs to enter Showdown is to get Gilda to 0 and get her over there and harvest her. Falk is going to head over to Magnolia Streets. Are we going to see Evergreen here finally? Going to put a Stone Gaze on someone first, on Mira Jane, it looks like. Mira Jane over Mystigan, really? I'm sure Falk knows what he's doing. Oh, and he's going to play another battle invite. Once again, not going to reshuffle it, but it is going to get Juvia out. So basically all of the heroes are in play, more or less. So Azure doesn't really have to worry about fating, because he's not going to pull a hero-only fate. I think everyone but Gray is in play. Gray and Levy, and I think they're in the discard. So Azure is pretty safe to go for fates again here. Falk really needs to start getting some murdering done here. If he doesn't start killing some heroes, He's going to be way too behind to catch up with Azure, who is in a very dominant position here, I would say. Azure's heading over to Grassy Field, just going straight for a Fate. Probably wants to see, I was about to say, Fairy Law. So now Falk is going to have to spend 2 power on a form and then immediately discard it to no benefit, other than getting rid of Fairy Law. Then we're going to see a Caring Mother thrown down, which is insanely likely to trigger. It's going to trigger immediately, which is going to put Gilda at 0. We are going to see Falk play the Dragon Force for 2 and discard the Fairy Law, followed by a Fate. There's Norman. And Prison Break, unfortunately, cannot target Gilda. So it's basically just put Norman at the top Fate. Very strong position for Azure. Are we going to see time to go into Harvest again here? Indeed we are. And that is going to put him into Showdown. Yeah, I don't think Falk's going to be able to come back from this one. Accidentally hit the Showdown thing on Loxis or something? Why is the Showdown thing on Loxis? Oh, just delete his entire board, I guess. What are you guys doing? Running back time? Yeah, okay. A little bit of misclicking from the guys who don't understand how to pick up a Showdown token off of Loxis's board and then hit delete. Yeah, Gilda should be in the harvest pile and all that, yeah. There's Evergreen, finally. Must have been at the very bottom of his deck. Trigger a Stone Gaze here to gain 2, draw 2, kill Lucy and Loki to open up his top Fate. Falk is in desperate need of Fate pressure here if he wants any chance of bringing this game back. He's got a lot of killing to do, though, to get to it. Makarov's Resolve should be going down to 6 here. I'm sure they'll notice in a moment. Yeah, there we go. And then a Lightning Dragon Roar, which will kill Juvia, because that's the only target. Get it down to 5. Falk actually is in a, really strong Loxis position here. It's just unfortunate for him that this has been such an incredibly good Isabella game that Isabella... I was just going to bell in time to go in that's game. Yeah. Isabella had an incredible deck order in this game. Very, very strong. All of the cards that Isabella wanted to see in, the top 8 or so just let Azure kind of run away with this game, and he did very well with the hand he was dealt to get through it. Falk... Look, a lot of heroes out. Makarov's Resolve at 5. It looks a lot worse than it actually is, I feel, especially for someone as skilled with Loxis as Falk is. He was starting to combo there finally, and he would have very, very quickly gotten down to 0, I feel like. But Isabella just went a little too fast for him to be able to manage it. So we are going to get a third game here. Falk is going to be the starting player again, so he's going to get to counterpick this time, but first he gets to ban. And it will just be another Dio ban again. Azure is going to ban. He's thinking really hard about this one. He has to think very hard about who he is going to play against Falk here, who he's going to pick, because then Falk gets to counterpick. So what Azure really wants to do here is he wants to ban the character he thinks Falk is best with that plays best against who he's going to pick. So, for instance, if Azure was thinking, I want to play Light, then he would ban Gendo, because he doesn't want Gendo to come out against Light. So he's going to be putting a lot of thought into this one. It might take us a second here. I really don't want to have to do a jump cut, though, so I'm just going to try and fill the dead air words and talk about how I can't even pronounce the word air, hopefully long enough to convince all of you that this is entertaining content and a jump cut really isn't needed. But if Azure is going to be taking 47 years to think this through, then I might just have to give in and do a jump cut. But I don't know, maybe I could, what if I started juggling? Maybe if I started juggling to keep your attention, that would work or something? Listen, I really cannot stress enough to you how lazy I am about not wanting to have to remember and go through the video to make sure, oh, did I need a jump cut at this part? Do I need to jump cut it? And it's really a bad showing of my laziness, because doing a jump cut would only take me less than a minute to do. So, but anyways, he's going to ban Celigan. So all of that thought and time just to make the exact same ban that we've made throughout this entire set of 3. Now, who is Azure going to play? He has to let Falk counterpick into him. And Falk knows this game very well as a member of QA, so whoever, oh no, we deleted the dice. Whoever Azure picks, Falk will likely know a good option to counter it, and it's going to be Gendo. Falk could have quite a few options to counter Gendo. Gendo's weakness is basically just whoever goes fast. But the thing about Gendo is you want to go fast, but you also want a little bit of a decent fate pressure. And he's going to play Orochi. So many Orochi games. It does my heart good to see because I love Orochi. Orochi is, like, I'm an Orochi main, so it makes sense for me. But, like, Orochi is one of the premier... Unnecessary deletion, these guys. Orochi is basically a premier option for dealing with Gendo because Orochi can keep very good fate pressure when he needs to, which means he can force red alerts when he needs them, or potentially even rush to a reshuffle, which is an important thing to be able to do against Gendo. You're going to see Gendo take the 4-card mulligan here, and then draw his 8-card starting hand. But the other thing about Orochi is that Orochi can go really, 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 really fast. Especially when he's against someone who doesn't fate often, like Gendo. He can really just take some strong timing. That's going to be a dead fate, and getting Betrayal on the first one is very unfortunate, but that's Gendo for you. Only discarding 1 card is very interesting as Orochi. That must be a pretty good hand. Azure is going to take his opportunity to go to Terminal Dogma here before it ends up covered. Very important part of early Gendo gameplay is making use of... Really, it's important to make use of Terminal Dogma when you can throughout the entire game, but I think, like, in those early games before your opponent can get a Fate to cover it, very important to keep Terminal Dogma open and make use of it where you can. Playing a Nerve Tank to defend Dogma over playing Fruit of Knowledge here is a little interesting. I probably would have Fruit of Knowledged myself, but it looks like he might have a very strong hand, so he might want to keep it. We're going to get Lee here. Lee at Odagakuri is going to discourage a follow-up fate from Falk and just be very annoying in general. Falk is going to go to Tanzaku. I imagine he has a pretty strong hand here, considering he only discarded Rashomon last turn. He's going to play Kimi. He's going to play Jirobo. And he's going to discard a Curse Seal. I wonder what that last card was that he couldn't get, like, a big Curse Seal play on Lee here, but he's got his top fate very well covered, or very well protected, which is very important, because against Gendo, you need to be able to fate at a moment's notice, so keeping his fate pressure open is going to be very good for Falk. Naruto in recovery here. Naruto is fairly annoying. Fairly annoying indeed. Falk is going to go to Forest of Death anyway. And what play are we going to see here? Now he's going to get a Curse Seal on Lee and then just Clash Naruto to move him to Odagakuri to open back up his top fate. Azure heading back to Terminal Dogma. He's playing very, very fate aggro early Gendo, which honestly I think is the way to do it against Orochimaru in this situation. He really wants to just bury Orochimaru early. Falk did get, like, top 10 card Kimimaro, though, so it's going to be very doable for Falk to keep his territory clean. And really, Gendo can only do this for so long before he needs to gain power. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised that it was a Terminal Dogma 2 Tokyo 2 Terminal Dogma instead of taking a turn at Nerve HQ instead of Tokyo 3 that one turn. But I guess Azure just really not discarding any cards off of that Fruit of Knowledge must be a really good setup. Both Sonning at once is... It's annoying to see a Sonning here, but it's good for Falk to see that both of them came out at the same time, which means that he's going to be a little defended there. Falk is going to head over to Oto. Oh no, he's actually going to head over to Konoha. What is he going to do at Konoha here with no power? He's going to move Kimimaro. Let's try and get the Jiraiya kill later. And he's just going to end his turn at that. Sometimes it'd be that way. And another Tokyo 3 turn from Azure. He's keeping a lot of pressure on Falk, but, like, at some point you really need to, like, set up as Gendo. We're going to see Sarutobi go to the top fade here. At some point you really need to set up as Gendo so that you can, you know, win before your opponent does. Falk is going to head over to Forest of Death, killing intent onto Jiraiya, probably. A killing intent onto Jiraiya. That'll give him the Jiraiya kill later. He's not really going to want to clash with Naruto. Finally, we're going to see a Nerve HQ turn. Funnily enough, this is the one turn where I would have said, like, you probably do want to fate and try and get a Shuriken, actually, instead of take the Nerve HQ turn. Misato and Asuka are going to be thrown down. Doesn't have to worry about Betrayal because of that awful first fate. Now, Falk can start to get some pressure back. He's going to throw a Mass Production Ava words at Terminal Dogma to start blocking that up. Going to kill Jiraiya. Probably set Kimimaro back up at Sarutobi. He's going to want to get Sarutobi out of there ASAP, whether he has to use both Kimimaro and Jiraiya or not. Or Kimimaro and Jirobo, not Jiraiya, sorry. I could see a good Tanzaku turn to try and lower Lee and then get the Lee Sarutobi kill in one fell swoop. We're going to see Azure. He's going to go to Tokyo 3 here. Probably playing a robot to one of the girls. No, he's going to throw down the Magi, actually. Fair enough. Follow that up with a Fate. Decomposing in Sakura. Sakura's a little annoying here. Mainly to be played at Tanzaku, just so that he can't gain and play. This will give Phalkion opportunity to gain 3, maybe discard some cards and punch Sakura, though, which is what's going to happen. Now, Falk in a pretty good position here. He can't be fated. It's going to cost him Jirobo, but I think killing Sarutobi, Otagakuri, and then clashing Naruto is definitely the play to make here. I think it is absolutely the play to make here. We're going to see Ava 0-0 thrown onto Ray, using the Misato activate, so that lets him draw 2 cards. I imagine we're going to see the Nerve Tank kill the Mass Production Ava as well, more than likely. It's going to throw down a Marduk Institute. Easy target of a Nerve Tank, which is pretty good. Get that Mass Production out of there to open back up his Top Fate. Interesting. We're going to Konoha this turn, are we, Falk? I was expecting the Sarutobi kill into punching Naruto while getting another Fate off. Although he really doesn't want to pull a Red Alert right here, but he also kind of wants to cover Terminal Dogma again. He's going to throw down Sealed Coffin. What other card is he playing? Forbidden. He spent 1 too many power on that Sealed Coffin a second ago. So he should have been at 1, and then he gains 1 for Sealed Coffin here. And he's getting the snake ready to eat the old man. Okay, fair enough. And then he can activate... I see. He can activate Sasuke out here. Okay, so instead of worrying about getting his territory clean, he's going to rush, which he's against a Gendo who is playing pretty slow and hasn't done Adam yet, so I think this is actually the right play. If I'd been able to... Ooh, and putting the knife on Manda, I love that. If I'd been able to see Falk's hand, I would have made this play as well. He had a very perfect setup to get Sasuke out, set up the Sarutobi kill with a kunai, no less, and whatnot. So even though the other play I was talking about would have cleaned his territory and let him open up some Fate pressure, you have to rush Gendo. So a turn where he was able to play Sasuke and set up the Saru kill, I think was definitely the right call. Absolutely the right call. We're going to see a Terminal Dogma turn from Azure. He doesn't like how well set up Orochi is now. He's going to do some discarding. He's really, really low on power right now. I think he's activating the Magi here. Really, really low on power because he's been doing so many Fate-heavy turns instead of focusing on other such things. Oh yeah, Curse Seal triggered on Lee. Really focused on fading instead of setting himself up. We're going to see a Fate here. Gaara is great here. Pretty much exactly who you want to see. Cover Tanzaku. Probably move Manda somewhere annoying. Move Manda, even just to Konoha is pretty worth it, to be honest. Move Manda to Konoha, or Otagakuri also works. And then just move Sasuke anywhere that isn't where he currently is. Azure's thinking very hard about this turn. Putting a lot of thought into this turn. Gaara Tanzaku and then Sasuke. Probably at this point I'd put Sasuke maybe... Nah, Jirobo's at the top Fate. I'd probably put Sasuke... I probably would have put Sasuke at Tanzaku and put Gaara maybe even at Konoha just to keep that coverage. If you're going to be moving Manda where he's moving Manda, I probably would have put Manda at Konoha and moved Gaara and Sasuke a little bit differently. It's a bit of a complicated board state. It's hard to tell exactly what you want to do here. Although I will say not moving a hero is definitely not the play. Why would you not move Sasuke just to be annoying, to make Falk have to do an activate again? Yeah, I don't think he moved a hero. Weird decision. So now he's going to do the Kimi Jirobo swap for Sarutobi, which I think is absolutely the play. Get that top Fate open because at any moment now, that was a dead Marduk, at any moment now Azure is going to play Adam and then he's going to want to be able to Fate hard. I can actually see a world where Falk doesn't even Fate here because he just doesn't want to pull a Red Alert, but a multi-Fate should be safe enough. If you pull a Red Alert, you pull a Red Alert. That's Gendo, baby. Reposition Kimimaro to deal with Gaara later. He's going to do a full Fate. Didn't get a Red Alert, which is very good. A little risky, but not that risky. If he got a Red Alert there, if he got 2 Red Alerts, it would have been catastrophic. But if he got a Red Alert there, it would have been fine, all things considered, I think. And Lee is at -1, so he's going to be able to clash with Lee this turn and start cleaning up his territory even more. He is coming up on a reshuffle, though, on his Fate deck. What is Azure going to do here? Going to go gain some power, and he's just going to get Adam out here and he's going to try and rush at this point. And that will be his turn. All of the red alerts are in play here, so I don't know about this one, especially when Forest of Death was open. It might not have been the best time. So much Kabuto disrespect. I need to be able to play in a tournament game so I can show that Kabuto is a good card. Gonna play a Curse Seal. Is he gonna be able to do more than that? Not gonna be able to do more than that. We're gonna do a full Fate. He's thinking about multiing. He's gonna do a full one. Still no red alerts. He's probably gonna have to start multiing from here. The danger of a double red alert is very, very spooky. And that will be his turn. He's gonna be able to kill Gaara, Fate, and get the Naruto to Konoha play on his next turn, which is pretty strong. And with Manda here, Otagakuri is very protected, which he really likes. Iriel is going to be our first Angel played, and then going straight to Command Center, of course. He doesn't have Ava Cage in play yet, so he can't do the classic Command Center Do-si-do, as I call it. And then what are we going to see here? Is he going to put Ava... Oh, no, Nerve Artillery for 2? Is he going to put Ava O2 on Asuka? Oh, he's activating the Magi. I was like, why do you draw? Discarding a Nerve Artillery. And there's Ava O2 on Asuka. And Falk is going to go take the turn to kill Gaara. So much sort of Kusanagi disrespect in these Orochi games. It upsets me. And he is going to do the Manda kill, actually, to get the -1 on Sasuke here. I wasn't sure if he'd do it or not, or just go for the Vanquish. And gain 2. He doesn't get the Poison Kunai because Naruto is not defeated here. It's on a would-be defeated. Because Naruto is not defeated, he's just moved. He's going to get the red alert. I didn't see what the other card was. I assume it wasn't 2 red alerts. Hopefully it wasn't for Falk's sake, and he's going to get Ariel. The thing is he's very close to a reshuffle, and mass production and committee meeting are out of the Fate Shuffle. So Falk is actually in a really strong position to just force Gendo into a reshuffle. We're going to see Gendo go for Fate here and try and weaken that by playing Kakashi to cover Forest of Death. That does play Kakashi straight to Kimi, though, which is less than ideal. So Falk can easily get him out of there. And then we are going to see a Horrible Truth. Probably wants to ditch Misato or Ritsuko. I'd ditch Ritsuko here, then use the robot and the Nerve Tank, and I think that's what Azure is going to do. Oh, actually going to use Ray and keep the Nerve Tank. That's also very fair. He really only needs 1 kid. He's very low resources right now and 2 red alerts coming up, which is not great. He's only got 1 token. We saw a game similar to this before. Poison Kunai on Kimi to be able to get more weaknesses on Sasuke for sure. Killing Intent. Unfortunately, that can only hit Kakashi here, which is less than ideal. He really wants to hit Sasuke with that, obviously. But presumably, I was about to say, he's got to have a 3rd player card, otherwise he wouldn't have bothered with the Killing Intent. That'll get that -1 on Sasuke, refund him 1. Can he play his 4th card? It's White Snake, so he's just going to discard it, obviously. And that will be his turn. Not the greatest turn, but it's pretty good setup, all things considered. We're going to see Adam get his 2nd token here and throw out Sandolphin. Pretty easy to kill. Orochi can really easily get to this reshuffle, which is going to be rough for Azure. But if Azure can keep doing some Tokyo Fate pressure, the problem with going to Tokyo for Fate pressure is he does not have a lot of resources. He's only got a Nerve Tank. He doesn't even have the, I think we're seeing a Magi use. He doesn't even have the, whatchamacallit yet. He doesn't have the Ava Cage yet. So he's going to run into trouble on actually being able to kill these pretty soon. He could get super lucky and both of the red alerts could be in the bottom 3 cards. That would be very unfortunate for Falk if that were to happen. We're going to see the Sandolphin kill. Azure's considering if he wants to do something differently. Oh, he's going to discard 3rd Impact instead of Shinji, and then that'll be his turn. I don't know what's happening here. I think he used Shinji instead of a Nerve Artillery to get that kill, maybe, is what just happened. All right, Falk needs to Fate here to make sure that he can get a red alert. So we're probably going to see an Otagakuri turn and kill Kakashi. Ooh, Forest of Death. Does he have a way to uncover? I imagine he must. He's going to throw down a 4 Violet. Following the 4 Violet, he's going to throw down a Reincar. Very useful. Manda. Another Reincar. This is going to get the trigger on Sasuke's Curse Seal. And then a Body Mods. Okay. Falk is, he's going to count on just making sure he gets a red alert on this pull. Although, now that I think about it, it's very, very unlikely that Azure, even if it's a 3-strengther, can get the kill on this Angel here. Whatever Angel comes out. For him to be able to get the kill here, it would have to be a 3-strengther Angel, and then he'd have to Horrible Truth Misato and put himself at, like, no cards. And then he'd have to bet, like, if a red alert was, if the 2 red alerts aren't in the bottom 3 after that, it would be, like, game over. So it would be pretty risky. So Falk is taking that calculated risk. I think this risk is very in his favor. He gets to clash Kakashi now and keep Kimimaro to better open Forest of Death if a Sanin comes back out or something similar. There's the last token, and it is a 4-strengther, not a 3-strengther. If it was a 5-strengther, it might have been, like, super over. I doubt he has a way to get the kill this turn. He is going to Fate, and he's going to get Kakashi and Gaara. Gaara is really good here. It's probably the worst Fate for Falk to see right now. Yeah, he's going to move Sasuke onto that top Fate, cover Odagakuri at the same time, and then put Kimimaro in an annoying position. Yeah, that was a very, very unlucky Gaara for Falk. That was moving an item, which moves Matariel, so he's going to move Asuka over into position. And then throw down a Nerve Tank so he can get the kill next turn. Falk is going to head over to Odo and just get a Fate. There's a red alert. And there's one more red alert in here, I believe, so they didn't both shuffle to the bottom. There's Tabris. This is going to put Azure in a very rough position because we saw him discard 3rd Impact earlier, I believe, unless he, like, undid it with the weird shenanigans he did earlier. So without a 3rd Impact and, like, a near guarantee, a 66% chance of a red alert here, it is a very, very bad position for him. And that'll be Falk's turn. He's going to go over to Command Center. Is he just going to kill Matariel? There's the Nerve Tank. It's going to move Tabris. He could kill Tabris, but it'd cost him the kid. He's going to do it. Ooh, I don't know. This is way too light of a Gendo territory. That is going to trigger both Reincars as well, so now Falk gets to put Manda in his hand. Manda and then, I don't know, probably Sakon and Ukon would be really useful here. I could also see maybe, like, Jirobo for some movement shenanigans. Actually, probably Jirobo so he can go to Tanzaku and move Sasuke back into position. That would be the strongest play. He does have to reveal that it was Manda and Jirobo because he has to prove that they're allies. He has to prove he isn't cheating. And then throwing down a Nerve Artillery to get ready to try and kill Matariel later. Gendo's at 3 tokens, but he's in a really bad position, especially with the reshuffle coming up. We'll see if he can turn it back around, but... Or maybe I missed, there was that one Fate I missed where it might have been a double red alert. If that one turn was a double red alert, then this is actually still really in Falk's favor. Gonna see the -1 on Naruto, getting him to 0 would be very useful. Playing a substitution jutsu, also very useful to get some control of movement around here, because that will trigger on the mass production or the committee meeting dying. And then getting Manda out. He is going to put him at Forest of Death to protect Forest of Death. I'm surprised we didn't see the Jirobo play. There's the, he's using Forbidden Experiments just to get a -1. Oh, and then another Forbidden. Oh, right, because he had Reincard. He had so many cards to play this turn. He had like 6 cards. So he's going to get a -1 on Sasuke, then get the 4 back, spin 2 on Jirobo, then move Sasuke into position, and he has Manda. He played 6 cards as well, so Curse Seal procced twice. Incredible turn by Falk. I think there's still 1 red alert in here, and if there's still 1 red alert in here, I heavily favor Falk in this game. If there isn't, then Gendo can definitely still pull this out, but he's got to be quick about it. Lee is the perfect get here. That's very annoying for Falk. Any other hero would mean that his top fate is still open, but because it is specifically Lee, it's not. And then we're going to see a Purpose of Nerve to try and get some more power. That'll be his turn. We are going to see him go over to... That's going to trigger Purpose of Nerve. We are going to see Falk go over to Forest of Death. And then he's going to use Manda plus Tiyuya to kill Lee to open it anyway. Fair enough. Going to do a full fate. Not a red alert. I think this last card is a red alert. I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure this last card is a red alert. This is, this would be a very, very strong reshuffle. There are so many heroes in play that, it would be very likely to pull red alerts again. Falk will likely multi-fate this one if it is indeed a red alert, unless I missed that earlier, and if I did, I apologize. I failed as a commentator. But I think this last card is red alert. We're going to see Azure go over here, play Nerve Tanks, and do the Vanquish on Matariel. Falk can for sure fate. Is this a red alert? Or did I miss a double red alert earlier? If it's a red alert, I feel really good about Falk's position. If it's not a red alert, then it might come down to the reshuffle. It was a red alert. Okay, I thought so. So he just multi-fates here so he can reshuffle all three back in. He gets Arm Assail. I feel like Falk probably has this game on lock. You know, we can't be too certain. He also has a really strong Rashomon setup here, I just realized, with Kimi and Jirobo. He can get Sasuke to 0 very, very fast. We're going to see Azure go over to whatever this is called. Oh, no, he's going to go to Terminal Dogma, actually. Get rid of Committee Meeting here. That's going to let Falk reposition stuff very, very nicely, killing the Committee Meeting here. But he does also want to dilute the red alerts on the reshuffle, so he needs to get heroes in. He's not going to kill the Committee Meeting. He doesn't want to trigger it. Falk is going to go to Tanzaku. Could move Kimimaro back in a better position. Could also just go for that huge Summon Rashomon turn. I don't know if we saw Summon Rashomon discarded earlier. If it's not in the discard, there's a very decent chance it's in his hand. Kabuto play for 3? What is this? What are we doing here, Falk? What are we doing? What are we doing? Or is he just deciding if he doesn't want to go to Tanzaku, maybe? He's going to go to Konoha, actually, this turn instead. Interesting. What are we going to do here, buddy? Killing Intent, that's going to net him 1 back. I think we're going to see the Summon Rashomon turn. Oh no, he's just playing Killing and then activating 4 Violet to get Sasuke to 2 Strength. Fair enough. He really just wants to blitz Sasuke right now. We're going to see Tsunade put at the Forest of Death to cover that. Falk doesn't have to worry too much about aiming for Fates here, not with Arm Assail out. Gonna see him go over to Tanzaku, move Kimimaro into position for Tsunade. Yep. That's going to be really good for Falk. He can go to Odo, go ahead and get that reshuffle underway before Azure kills any heroes, maybe. Get Tsunade out, set Kimimaro to kill Gaara, maybe. Weaken Sasuke down to near 0. The constant Kabuto disrespect. It angers me. But there's the Sword of Kusanage, very important card. Glad to finally use it. I think this is the first time an Orochi's played it, which is mind-boggling. That did trigger Marduk Institute because he discarded Kabuto. So before Azure takes his turn, he's going to get a Nerve Tank over at Terminal Dogma. Heading over to Nerve HQ, gaining 3. Throwing down another Marduk Institute. He just wants to be able to play allies as easily as possible. He's going to put a Nerve Tank there. He's planning to kill Arm Assail at the Terminal Dogma here. But then Falk has a very strong chance at reshuffling. Honestly, if I was Falk, I'd go for a Fate here to try and get a red alert immediately and get that reshuffle underway. Reshuffling and not hitting the red alert and then Gendo getting into Showdown is probably the worst case scenario for him. He also has a really good turn at Otagakuri here. But he might have a turn where he can get rid of Sasuke. I doubt it with Tsunade out, but if he does, I mean, getting rid of Sasuke would be super strong right now. Another thing he could actually do is he could actually Clash Gaara here, now that I think about it. And this is probably the play I would do, and he might be doing it here. Use Kimi to kill Tsunade, and instead of weakening Sasuke, weaken Gaara. But he is going to weaken Sasuke instead, and he's going to leave Kimi there. That is going to trigger the Marduk Institute, which is going to play a Nerve Artillery to there. Discarding the 2 cards for Kimimaro. He is going to leave Kimimaro at the Forest of Death. Oh no, he's actually going to put him in place for Gaara. This is also a strong turn. He wants to make sure he can get Sasuke killed. There's the Fate. Did not get a whatchamacallit, but he is going to put an AT field on Arm Assail, and because Azure put Nerve Artillery here instead of Command Center, Arm Assail is 7. There's no way for him to go to Command Center and get the kill this turn. He's going to move the Nerve Artillery into position. Does he have a Horrible Truth? He's going for his Fate first. He got Sarutobi, which is really good. Going to cover up Forest of Death. Falk could, if he has Whitesnake, he could very easily get the Sasuke kill on his turn. He's going to throw Shinji down over there and then end his turn, so he can get the Arm Assail kill on his turn. Falk is going to go to Konoha. Does he have the Sasuke kill? All he needs is Whitesnake in hand, and he can do it. White Snake and then activate 4 Violet to put Sasuke at 0. He's going to activate the 4 Violet. It refunds itself on the pay one thanks to Sealed Coffin. Does he have White Snake in hand? Oh, changing his mind. This is why you need to have Kabuto ready to get you White Snake when you need it. He's going to throw Tayuya down over at the Forest of Death. Okay. He's going to play Forbidden Experiments to gain 1. And then Snake. Sneaky Snake. There's White Snake. The Curse Seal will put Sasuke at 0 here because that was 3 cards played. That nets him 1 back. And then he could... I think he could still activate 4 Violet if he wants to. He could put Naruto at 0, which honestly would be worth his time. He's going to put on Sarutobi to weaken him up, which is also very fair. And then he's just going to clash with Sasuke and get into Showdown here. Which means Gendo is on a very hefty ticking time bomb for this one. Changing his mind. Yeah, I think putting it on Naruto is better here because now he can freely use Vanquishes to move Naruto around however he wants. And honestly, in Showdown, having Konoha open will be very useful to have that move Vanquish. And that gets rid of Sasuke. So here we go. Orochi is in Showdown. He's got a Sword of Kusanagi ready. He's got a decent ally setup, one of them being Kimi. And Gendo is super fate-locked. We're going to see Gendo, a.k.a. Azure, go over to Command Center. He's going to throw down the Ava. He has to use the Ava and 2 of the nerves here. Probably both nerve tanks, if I had to guess. The artillery is better left there. That will kill Armisail. Falk has got 3 out of 10 cards here are a red alert. If Falk gets a red alert, I think it's basically game over. But even if Falk doesn't get a red alert, he's still in a really good position. We're going to see him do the Kimi kill. He can actually set up game on board here by putting Kimi at Sarutobi, and then he'll be able to gain 2 power, and he can go clash Naruto, use Tayuya to kill Sarutobi. So, oh, he actually used Tayuya right there. Oh, and then he has Sword of Kusanagi. Yeah, because he just has Sword of Kusanagi, so he just wins here entirely. So he didn't even need to worry about getting the red alert. Incredibly well done. This is why Sword of Kusanagi is so important. So many people have played games where they don't play Sword of Kusanagi. I forgot it was an option for him to just win the game there. But incredibly well done. He would have gotten a Betrayal, which would have hit Misato up. I'm going to be honest, or Shinji, actually. He would have put Shinji up. I'm going to be honest. I think that even though he wouldn't have got a red alert here, I don't see Gendo clearing out committee meeting 2 mass productions and a betrayed Shinji fast enough, especially when there's another mass production in here for Orochi to potentially hit. I don't see him winning that fast enough, even if he did get into Showdown that turn. I think that Gendo was way too far behind. But still, well-played game. That's going to be a 2-1 win for Falk, which will move him into the semifinals. So let's go take a look at the bracket and see how that looks now. And so with that victory, Phalkion will be moving on into the semifinals. He's going to get to go up against Butter in an official tournament match. Really looking forward to seeing how that game plays out. And with the 2 of them in the semifinals, we also have Egg and Lark. So all 3 members of QA have made it into the semifinals this year. They came to play and just ravaged through the community. But there's still 1 Egg boy left that can just tear it all away from them. So we'll have to see how that plays out once we get into the semifinals. Hope you're looking forward to it, and I'll see you for the next tournament arc video. Until then, farewell.